How you doing, gardeners? Ed Snyder with Fresh Picked Acres of Kansas, and today, Delia and I, when we went on our trip there to Ivor, Virginia, we stopped in and we got a country cure ham from Felt's Packing, and this is a salt cured ham, and we need to go ahead and take the ham and get it prepared for cooking. So I want to show you guys how I debone a ham and how we prepare it. The instructions are on the back of the bag of the of your hams when you go to buy them. It does come with a parchment paper wrapped over your ham, and then it will be sealed in here. Now, you don't want to refrigerate this when you get your ham. You just want to have it sitting on top of your refrigerator or on your counter. And you have a little bit of time before you need to cook it, but you can go ahead and let them sit for a little while and be prepared for a day that you really want to cook. Now, when you get your ham, again, you're going to have this is a country cure ham, so you're going to have your ham that's actually it's going to have some mold on it. It'll have a little bit of mold. It'll have some stuff. You notice it's a little bit more shriveled up than a normal ham would be, but we're going to take it. As soon as we get it out of the bag, you're going to see a little mold. Go ahead and rinse that off. This has already been done, but I'm just illustrating that to you. The other thing here is you're going to want to go ahead and fill your sink up with water for about 8 to 12 hours. You're going to rinse off your ham, go 8 to 12 hours again, and rinse it again. On my third wash, which is where I'm at now, I just drained it. It's time for me to debone the ham. I want to remove the bone before I cook it. It's easier to cut through at that time. We're going to want to use a stiff boning knife to do this cut, and we're going to start at the hock. So stay with me, and we'll get to deboning it. So we're going to go ahead and debone that ham. I have my steel, I have my knife. This particular steel has a guard, so it helps get it. The first way I like to go ahead and use my steel is I actually want to work the blade backwards. In other words, don't go against it to the first stroke. I go away from it. That gets any burrs that might be turned the right way. And then you want to use an equal amount of strokes on each side of the steel. You can go 3 on this side if you want. Just go with 3 on the other side. So just make sure you keep your steel even. That'll keep the burrs off. It'll make your knife nice and sharp. Let's go ahead and debone this ham. So the first cut on the ham I want to make is I want to trace our bone out, and using a stiff knife helps with that. And we need to go around our bone, and this ain't, you're kind of skinning it back a little bit. You can go ahead and make a little bit of an incision there to cut that out. I want to trace our bone out, and using a stiff knife helps with that. And we need to go around our bone, and this ain't, you're kind of skinning it back a little bit. You can go ahead and make a little bit of an incision there to cut that out. There we go. Now this. So we're just taking this and working it out around that bone. And once you can get that ham free from your bone, and then I'm running into my other bone on this end, we can find that, which they're going to join back here, right there. And let me trace this all the way up. You're going to think it's impossible to do it, but it's doable. To part ways. And we want to work underneath of it. Just got to go around that hock. Now I can start to feel the bone move a little bit here. I can't wait to taste the green beans that come out of this. And the ham sandwiches. I think I need to slice down. It kind of wants to run away from me, but I need to slice down that bone on the backside. Not quite ready to give up the ghost. Now you can put this bone back in for the cooking process. And I'm going to add a little bit more edge because I'm working along with that bone. And again, my first strokes are backwards. There we go. Our first strokes are backwards. There we go. Got just a little bit more to go here, folks, on the hock bone. And we'll slice around the underside if I can. Oh, I have to go this way. Our little Maddie, she is being a very patient observer right now. Hoping I'll drop the whole ham. Oh, funner. Just about there, folks. There we go. So we have the hock bone out. We can go ahead and bundle. That can actually be put back in for the cooking during the cooking process we want. Now we just have our main bone, which is right here. And we just have to go around it, work that out. So we're just basically filleting it one way, filleting it the other, and then in the end we can use some string to tie it back up for the baking process. Here we go. Coming apart very nice, folks. I'm going to start working the other way around. There you go, Miss Maddie. How you like that? You like that, don't you? Making some progress from joint to joint. Cut that. Pull some of that. We'll cut around the end of the bone. We'll bring it back around. Repeat on this side. And just running that knife along the edge of the bone. Now we have to deal with this pelvic bone here and go around it. And this can be a hard rascal to do, getting that pelvic bone off of there. I'm still kind of working on the other, but the pelvic bone can be a challenge. I wouldn't lie about that. And that pelvic bone kind of hooks underneath. Now, if this was a fresh ham, we could pop this a little bit easier, but it's not. I'm just coming up the back side of that pelvic bone. And you can see it right here. It's in there. But we want to fillet that out from the backside. Loosen the muscle up from the bone. And I'm going to come around here on the back side of my roast. There we go. There we are. Oh, she's loosening up pretty good. Yep, she's starting to spin. Just a little bit. Let me go ahead and fillet this out. Let's look at it from this side as well. We about got this rascal. Now it's loosening up. There's my joint that we can remove now that I have a lot of this cut off of there. Just loosening up around that joint. And we'll remove that old pelvic bone. There we go. Getting it out of that ball and socket. Almost. There we go. There's our pelvic bone right there. And last but not least, you can see the actual leg bone here, the ham bone. And so all we have left here is getting this bone loosened up. I'm going to pull it back toward me. Now, the Virginia Country Cure ham is something that I enjoyed growing up through my 20s and 30s. When I lived out in Virginia, it was a wonderful ham to eat. Definitely a favorite around the dinner table that you could just slice off a little ham and have it for a snack or for lunch. Now, the ham itself, we're going to go ahead and cook it. As the directions say on the bag, and I'm going to do the roasting method, which means it needs to be cooked for 24 hours, and that's a whole process on its own. It's on the bag. You can follow that, but to bone it out saves you a lot of work of having to slice and cut around when you're actually trying to enjoy your ham and eat it. So if you like these types of programs, folks, hit that like and subscribe and come grow with us. Now, Delia wisely wisely told me, here's the ham and it hasn't been cooked. We're currently letting the oven get up to 500 degrees, but when I said 24 hours, I was off a little bit, but here's the program I'm doing. Wash the ham, place in a roaster with 5 to 7 cups of water. Place it skin side up. Cover the roaster lightly and preheat the oven to 500 degrees. Place it and leave it for in the oven for 500 degrees for 15 minutes. So it's got to go off in 15. Let me make that clear. Turn the oven off, and then you're going to leave it for 3 hours. Turn the oven to 500 degrees again with the ham in there. Leave it for an additional 15 minutes only. Leave the ham in the oven for 6 to 8 hours. And do not open the oven since the ham has been placed in the oven. And ham should not be exposed to more than 500 degrees or more than a total of 20 to 30 minutes. So it's a long day. It's a nice 12-hour day, basically, of cooking. It's not a long cooking day, and our oven has just gotten up to temp. And Delia, you're going to go and put it in?
Stick it in.
So Delia put it in, and yep. Okay.
Cooking timer.
So you can do the cooking for 15.
And it'll shut itself off after the 15 minutes are up.
Okay. And then so we'll come back in 3 hours again and we'll continue doing it. Now they have other ways of doing this. You can use, you can do traditional cooking method. You can bake. You can, it talks about frying it. The Virginia Country Cure ham, the beautiful part about it is it'll, and let me add one more thing before I forget. The beautiful part about Virginia Country Cure ham is it's the way we use to preserve our food, so we would have good protein in the times when we didn't have refrigerators and that type of thing. Now, the thing is, we don't want to put this in the refrigerator when we take it out. I'm going to wrap it in parchment paper. I'm going to put aluminum foil on top, and it's just going to sit there. Now, remember that it's still a cured ham. It has still a lot of salt. This would not be a ham that you're going to slice with a 1/2 inch thick. You want to slice it as thin as you could read a newspaper through, more or less. I'm kind of joking there, but it's more or less the truth. And then I like to use a little bit of mayo, and I like to put it on a little dinner roll. Mayo ham, you can put a tomato with it. It's wonderful to eat, and it makes a wonderful meal, a wonderful sandwich. And of course, as always, it's good to eat with some. It's good to have a good ham dinner as well with your baked potatoes and yams. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and continue to stay tuned for future episodes.